Hi, this is Carole, and today we're doing Dowsing tip number 21 and looking at a Dowser's perspective on the COVID vaccine debate. Lively topic. Is the vaccine good or bad? And that's going to depend on your belief systems. Belief systems are stories we tell ourselves that help define our reality. And then as we get more belief systems and we tend to find others with them or like ones, and we start to create matrices. And in a matrix, it's like a container that's holding something, starting something, creating something. And so pretty soon we have this matrix of many other people's belief systems there. And this is how things are created and moved. The problem with the matrix is that once you're in it, a lot of the ideas there, beliefs are not your own. They belong to other people, and they may not match up with your idea of what's what. So in my mind, a matrix would be like the QAnon would be a matrix with a lot of different conspiracy theories as the belief systems. Reporting news anymore is a matrix, and you can pick what belief system you want right now and choose to watch those channels or read that information. Chinese metaphysics is a matrix that has belief systems about feng shui, qi min, I Ching, and Bazi, and so on. So that's how the belief systems fit into the matrix. The only thing that's kind of been keeping our society together are societal norms throughout all of this change we've been in. And these norms are the kind of the rules and regulations of how to behave. It says if your neighbor gets you mad, you don't shoot them dead. If you're in a store, you wait in line. You don't push yourself up to the front of the line. If you're driving, you drive on the correct side of the road. You might stop for a traffic light, that sort of thing. And it seems like now the new personal norm is all about freedom. And the past president was one of the big cheerleaders of that. Personal freedom, doing what he wanted and getting away with it. And a lot of people now are following this new norm of personal freedom first. Everybody else later. So back to the COVID testing or the COVID vaccinations. What I did was I took a little chart that was created by Roxanne Louise. And this chart goes from, rather than a yes or no, it goes from extreme, accurate, full picture to total deliberate misinformation. And I used that as my chart to test for people about how they felt about the vaccinations. And the first person was vaccinated, not a scientific background, and she tested as seeing them as all accurate. The second person was vaccinated, did have a science background, and the answer mostly correct, some false came up for that person. Third person, not vaccinated, not with a scientific background at all, and that person saw it as a deliberate lie. And then the fourth person was not vaccinated, did have a very heavy science background, and that truth was withholding important information. So we have 4 different answers from this chart for 4 different people, because this is their reality of what is, as far as the vaccinations go. It's their belief systems or that of the matrix that they're in that deals with vaccinations. So the question is, are you neutral enough to um, ask the question of yourself? Are you only looking at your own belief systems? Now, I spent a lot of the time researching because I don't like needles either, but what the heck. Um, so when I read about everything I could find. I wanted to find the pros and the cons for all the vaccines. And I went to the scientific route, not the QAnon route. And so you know my background. I tested what percent good to get the vaccine. I tested what percent harm, and it came out, if I took the Johnson & Johnson, it was 30% harm, and my spirit helpers equated that with a day under in a room with those long, awful fluorescent lights that we used to have all the time. And I figured 30% I can handle, no problem. I also asked what percent harm not to take the vaccine, and took all of that information under consideration, and did wind up doing Johnson & Johnson. And so, no problem. It's done, fine. And no worries and no regrets. So belief patterns, they make a difference. You want to, again, step back from all the hype, do some serious reading, and I will put in some information into a blog that tells a little bit more about this process and has some good links in it. That it'll be at aynialchemy.com, aynialchemy.com. And you can get some information that way more if you'd like. So be yourself, consult with spirit helpers, douse how you feel about it, and I guess we just let everybody have their own truth right now of the matter, and we'll see where our society ends up with any new norms that are coming down the road. So I hope you enjoyed tip number 21, talking about a difficult subject and talking about dowsing, about the effectiveness and your perspective, my perspective on the COVID vaccines. Good luck.